Welcome, honey.
Welcome.
How about another episode?
Of Driving to the Rest?
Sure. With your favorite hosts.
Myself.
And me.
yourself.
Larry and Inelia. How easy was that?
Yes, it was very easy.
It's almost like we're just talking to each other.
Yes.
And I want to, touch on a couple of things.
You do?
Before we start.
Okay.
Do you remember? One of the things, what we talked about last week was
aliens
and shooting down UFOs and things like that.
At some point we did, for sure, yes. I don't know about last week, but we did talk about it.
It was last week. Well, it was last week we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. And then
I don't know.
Last week
we did.
Everyone heard us talking about it.
We definitely, yes. Although it was Tartaria. But I think aliens, we did talk about it at some point.
Was it aliens? And last week, the week before, we talked about UFOs?
Yeah, something like that. But I don't remember.
So last week we talked about our Tartaria, huh?
It could have been aliens.
Oh my God.
We talk a lot about it.
See, that's the problem.
We talk about a lot of things that are super interesting. And then we talk about things that are super interesting that we haven't talked about yet.
And then we talk about things super interesting. And then what we talked about gets put out on our podcast that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But it's not like last week that we talked about it. Sometimes it's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because somehow or other we got into this mode of being like
super efficient.
Ahead of the game instead of
super efficient,
catching our tail all the time. We're 1 week ahead.
Homework and yeah.
So that is good, but it also it kind of makes my brain feel like it's got to get stretched a little more.
Okay.
So I have to remember multiple weeks concurrently, and it's taken me out of my comfort zone because I'm like so about now,
It's all about now.
So I'm so about now, and I like to worry about things that haven't happened.
You do indeed.
Which I have been, working on.
Yes, you have.
Because it's not really a comfortable place to be, right?
No, it isn't.
Worrying about what's coming or what can go wrong, et cetera, et cetera. Like, oh my gosh, the boat, this. Oh my gosh, the whatever, road, oh, this, that. Well, worrying about that hasn't happened. And incidentally, worrying about that hasn't happened means my frequency at now is in the
future, the
place where that thing that I don't want to happen is happening.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that's what
it sort of yanks you out of a good state of mind.
It does.
It's intertwined with that be prepared and think about things and make sure that you're covered. You got things covered, but you spend too much time there. It's like distract. It's not helpful.
Right.
What does that have to do with Tartaria and UFOs and shooting them down?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we talked about last week. It's about what you would be worrying about. You're worrying about UFOs.
Okay, I'm not, but okay.
You could be.
Okay.
You could have that worry about, we're shooting UFOs, but we ain't shooting UFOs. Because let's think about it. If you're shooting down UFOs, that means whoever's UFOs there are, you're like getting angry at, and they could get angry back at you.
Oh, so it's a prelude to war with an invisible, unfathomable enemy
that you have no
knowledge about.
Yeah, so it's invisible. Who knows? Yeah. So your brain could go different places, and that could create worry and stress, and the stress that creates lowers your frequency, right? Lowers your how you feel about the world. So your right now is influenced by what you're worrying about. And it was a worrying about thing that you can't change.
Indeed.
Right. So that's kind of how it's related.
To
shooting down UFOs.
Oh.
Tartaria is the same kind of a thing because in a sense, when you look at that, you'll say, I'm being lied to about a lot of things and I can't tell what I'm being lied to about. So what am I being lied to about now? And by who? So we're like externalize this.
Become victim aggressor stuff.
Right, you get engaged in the victim aggressor side. So searching for and finding data and information, it can very easily get slid into the victim aggressor stuff or the worry stuff or the stress or the strain stuff. So whoever's listening, know that we just released
Mm-hmm.
a stress relief exercise.
Exercise.com.
It's at stressreleaseexercise.com.
Stressreliefexercise.com.
So if these topics bring you some stress, I mean,
or any topics,
any
or life
topic
in
brings you some stress, or job brings you some stress, or life brings you stress, or whatever.
Relationships,
you have stress.
You
have some stress. No, that's not your natural state.
It's not, no, stress is not a natural state.
You had a really beautiful little paragraph that you wrote about what our natural state is like. I remember I shared it on our Telegram group, and I've seen it shared multiple times on our Telegram group.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered all the words. I could probably find it. Maybe I'll find it and put it in the notes somewhere. Anyway, that's your natural state. And so if you're not at that natural state, jump into this stress relief exercise and give it a go. It doesn't cost anything, does it? No,
it's all there. The whole exercise is right there. You can just go and do it.
Alrighty. So there's a suggestion.
Yep.
Look, honey, there's snow on the water.
On the lake?
Yeah, look. See the white stuff?
Oh, yeah.
How come snow's on the water?
I don't know.
Wow, interesting. So this week you want to talk about Pachamama?
Yes. Do you know what Pachamama is?
I only knew about Pachamama from watching a video or YouTube that you shared as homework, I think 3 or 4 years ago on Walk With Me Now. And it was about was it about the mamas?
No.
Where did I see
Pachamama,
the Pachamamas?
Pachamama, well, that documentary is called Humano, which is
Humano, that's where I think
Spanish
about Pachamama.
word of human. And it was about a shaman from Peru. And the actual hero of the story was a regular guy from a city in Argentina who met this shaman and went over to see him in Peru to be initiated into the shamanic teachings.
Right.
And that's why they talked about Pachamama.
Okay.
But a lot of people are familiar with the word, and they often will translate it to mean Gaia.
Right. That's what I kind of went right to.
Which actually isn't, because Gaia is a goddess. And she represents the earth maybe, but the spirit of earth or the divinity of earth, which is not what Pachamama actually means.
All right, well, let's start reading.
All right, let's start reading. But before we do, I'd like to remind people that we have Subscribestar where you can get these homeworks that we're talking about.
True story. Subscribestar has them. And also...
the second hour for this podcast is going to be there with all the expanded questions and things. Right. On the topic that we talk about.
Right.
And now, Ashley as well. She's taking care of our Subscribestar community. And she's going to be organizing study groups and homework groups and all
after parties, after classes.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Zooms, whatever.
They now have their own Telegram group as well.
Yeah, their own Telegram group.
Yeah. So it's super exciting stuff.
Yes. Alrighty, cool.
So how does stress and natural living and the wobbly wiggly of what we're being taught or shown in the media add to stress, and what is it related? How is it related to Pachamama? Well, the whole concept of what reality is when we're taught that it's something that we know instinctively and at a lineage and higher self level know it is false, it does bring in a lot of invisible stresses into our lives.
Compound, huh?
Yeah, they compound. So this information is made available for you to start dissolving those inner unconscious conflicts and start tapping into that actual construct of reality. And I released quite a few of these through the years, and this is the latest of a whole bunch of things that allow us to look at, maybe play pretend, and start testing out the waters of an alternative interpretation of reality. Okay. So I'm going to read the first few paragraphs, I guess.
Okay.
I'm thinking that if you're subscribed to my newsletter and receive my weekly articles and monthly essays... Ooh, the essays.
Ooh, there's an essay you just wrote.
Yeah, so on the first Sunday of the month...
We didn't get far.
No. On Substack, you're going to get an essay on the first Sunday of the month. And we call it Woo for Thought. This series of essays is called Woo for Thought. And basically, it's a platform where a larger exploration of many, many topics can be, aired and interacted with. Right. So if you're interested, if you're a lecturian, and you like to read, then that would be a really great place to go. And again, just like many other things, Substack is absolutely free, but you do get the little subscribe button. If you do, you get the same content, but the subscribe is just to support the whole creative process.
Right. You could subscribe for $0 or subscribe for
whatever amount.
Throw some money in the pot.
Yeah.
Either way, it's the same stuff.
Yeah. But it's very exciting, right?
But Substack is where you go for reads.
Mm-hmm.
Good reads.
For good reads, okay? Mm-hmm. Monthly essays. Okay. That you don't have... So if you're familiar with all these things, you know that you don't have to be a trained shaman or a tree-hugging hippie in order to know that connecting with Pachamama, better known to most of us as Gaia or Mother Earth, is essential to our health and well-being. Did you know, however, that Pachamama is not just considered to be what we know of as Mother Earth by the indigenous tribes of the Andes who use the name? The frequency, energy, and allocation of who and what Pachamama is by these tribes is something worth exploring and connecting with. Why? Because it is closer to the true nature of reality than that of Mother Earth. The main difference is that Pachamama is said to be the mother of reality, the sun, and all the planets. In addition, there's another name used by these tribes for describing what we know to be as Earth or Gaia. When I found that out, a lot of things made sense because the indigenous people that I come from, they don't speak Quechua, which is the Indian languages, or one of their languages that uses the word Pachamama. And they use different words for earth and for the land and, for the people and all these other things. But when I used to listen to people from the Andean cultures talk about Pachamama, I knew there was it didn't quite fit into the translation.
Yeah.
That the Westerners who were translating were given it.
Right.
Right.
So instead of Mother Earth, it's like the Mother of Earth.
Earths. Yeah.
Mother of Earths.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, let's think about that for a minute. Let's play pretend and seek truth from that statement. When we look at the commonly held translation of the name Pachamama, we're told it means Mother Nature or Mother Earth. But in fact, a closer translation is World Mother. World Mother. Unlike the earth deities such as Gaia, Pachamama is the physical expression of reality as opposed to the concept of a spirit of earth or a spirit of mother. It also includes our natural and nurturing connection with that physical expression. Have I lost you yet? Okay, good. Let's go back to the World Mother concept. This way to translate the name expresses the aspect of creator of the universe and all of reality. We usually allocate to a god or divine eternal intelligence. This is the translation that is, in my opinion, the most accurate one. I wanted us to look at the meaning of this name, Pachamama, in the concept of reality creation allocated directly to connection to Earth. The reason is that we generally relate to Earth as an entity which is disconnected from us, the sun, the planets, and the universe. We perceive Earth as a long ball of existence floating around the sun, a ball we live on, we're destroying, and are disconnected from. When we look at reality creation as being one and the same as Earth, our planet, the new concept and possibilities of reality can be perceived. Can you perceive any differences of reality there?
It kind of went over my head, honey. Can you say that sentence
I
again?
kind of could see it because your eyes were going.
Okay, say that sentence again. I was just sort of like connected with the plant and the berries and all the things growing around us, and I was thinking about you didn't have to do anything for that to happen. As a matter of fact, you could try and stop it and it wouldn't stop.
What?
All the growth in the plants and the earth and the life.
You could try to stop it and it wouldn't stop? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because I actually tried to stop those blackberries a little bit. They're laughing at me.
Okay. All right.
I was thinking about the proliferation of life. It's like it does it itself.
Yeah.
Anyway.
When we look at reality creation,
Yes.
as being one and the same as Earth, our planet, the new concepts and possibilities of reality can be perceived. No?
No, it's just too big of a jump.
Okay.
Because creating the whole planet, creating the whole...
No, that's not what I meant.
Say it again then.
Okay. When we look at reality creation...
Hey, there's a hummingbird.
As being one and the same as Earth...
Say again, the reality of creation.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, that's what I heard.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say reality of creation.
Say it again then.
Reality creation is a verb.
When we look at reality creation...
Verb.
As being one and the same as Earth. Earth
a
is...
verb of creation.
Reality creation.
Yes. Earth is the verb.
That you see, if you look at that and you look at that and you look at that, like we're doing right now there's 3 of those hummingbirds up there.
There's no hummingbirds.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 of them up there now.
No,
yes, there is.
Isn't.
They're right in the little tree, just landing down.
Oh my God, you're right. The tiny, teensy little birds.
So Earth is a reality creation. In other words, this is a place for us to create realities.
No, you mistook it again.
Golly.
Okay, so you're thinking Earth as a noun, a place, right? The name of a place.
Earth is a reality creation.
Yes. So Earth is the verb, like reality creation as a verb.
Yeah. It's just a step too far, honey.
No. Shall I continue or shall we change topics?
Earth as a verb.
Yes.
Oh, well, it's starting to come in.
Okay.
It's starting to come in. Earth is a creational, not force, but phenomenon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
A sentient one then.
A sentient one at that. Yeah, that's like that expands you in another direction than the one that I was just doing with a couple of weeks. This way. So it's like this way and that way.
Yes.
And that way. And that way. It's kind of unfolding in dimensions.
Yes.
Alrighty, well, obviously that stops your words from working for a little while, but go ahead.
Okay. Whenever I see a different concept of reality, I like to look at those who hold it and how successful they were in life. When I look at the indigenous people of the Andes, I can clearly see a huge change in direction of how they understand the universe via Catholicism and European influences. But they didn't all make that move. The ones that didn't still carry the wisdom and knowledge of the true nature of reality within their culture. When I look at those cultures, I can see that they stay quiet, isolated, and mostly are biding their time for when their knowledge of the universe is ready to be shared and used by the rest of us. Why is this relevant to us? The light-dark paradigm, the poo, power over others, dynamic of the lives we lead today needs for us to be separated from each other and from the real nature of reality. Why? Because otherwise we could not play light-dark games.
In other words, we have to be separated in order to play these games.
Yes. Earth is not a ball that floats around in empty space around a ball of fire.
Yes, it is. I saw the pictures.
They're digitally generated pictures. They're not real.
Oh, that sucks.
Earth, like us, is an intricate expression and continuous creation of reality that is not separate from us, the sun, the planets, and most even certainly is not floating in empty space. Pachamama, just play with the word Pachamama, its meaning and its relationship to our expansion of awareness. Remove the illusion of separation from yourself and your environment, and imagine there is a universe where there is no empty space and where nothing, zero, doesn't exist. I'm very much looking forward to exploring this topic with you. Yay!
A place where nothing doesn't exist?
Correct.
Which seems to be the definition of nothing.
No.
Where there's nothing, it doesn't exist.
Actually, no.
I know, but it still whacks your head up.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit.
So
it's like paradox on paradox, and it's a completely different reality construct.
Yes. It's a very different reality construct.
We would judge it from within the one we mostly exist in as inferior.
Yes, and it perpetuates that level of disconnect, right? Mm-hmm. So many times I have spoken with people throughout my life about their feelings of loneliness, stresses of life, wanting to find true love, wanting to connect, finding meaning for life, all of these things, wanting to expand their awareness, etc., right? Mm-hmm. And recently we did an exercise with one of our students where the student was triggered and her response to life was triggered and angry and all these things. But so the intent behind those words were to hurt or to express anger and hurt. But her actual, what she wants in life is about happiness, connection, really good, nice, high frequency life, inspiration, no stress, all these type of things, the natural state of our being.
Right.
But what she was giving out was not a reflection of what she wants, but it was indeed a reflection of the intent behind the words: anger, frustration, sadness, pain, and all that type of stuff. Right?
Right.
So we understand that because all of us have done it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we want something, but we react.
What we see isn't that, and we react to that we see.
Yeah. Because we can't control it. So we react to it, adding to that energy that we don't want.
Adding some fuel to the fire, as they say.
Yeah.
Right. And
so when we come to reality creation, when we behave, act, react, and believe and live in reality from a core essence of disconnect, so the earth is disconnected to the planets and is disconnected to the sun. They're just gravitationally running around each other, but not really ever true connection. And the earth is disconnected from us, and we're disconnected from each other and from the earth. And all these things are just matter. They're not really real or sentient, and they don't have a say in what we're creating or co-creating with others. So all of these ways of behaving is the intent behind our actions and words, which is disconnect, which is an intent that we needed in order to have a like that paradigm. All we were taught is the normal here. But we come from a place and location where none of that is true. That in fact everything is connected and there isn't empty space between it. Right? So it's like when you and I connect, right? Mm-hmm. Like right now, we're like connected and we're touching like arm to arm, shoulder to shoulder, right? We're connected at a physical level. Another person might say, actually, you could never possibly touch, because when every time you divide the distance in half,
Yeah, you're still got
you're
halfway to go.
Halfway to go, so you can never actually connect, right? So that is kind of the way in which we look at the universe. We can never actually connect or touch, but all of our senses and our perceptions can feel the other person pushing against us, right? So we're connected, we're touching. So which one is true? If we look at the energy of we're close together and we're connected and we're touching each other, it's a very different feeling, expression and experience than if we were to concentrate on, actually we can never connect because
actually mathematically we didn't quite
impossible.
Get there yet. It's
No.
literally
literally impossible.
Oh, I know it. She sees the birds now.
Yes, that's a big bird.
Yeah, she's protecting her chickens.
Yeah.
Yes, gonna tell the big dogs to go bark at the other thing. Yeah, okay, got it.
So, from like when we start looking at these other world creations or understanding of the universe, it can change us to degrees that we may not be comfortable with. And also we can interpret things as disconnect when they're not. I mean, I've often talked about...
Well,
go ahead.
It's like, I don't mind being connected and touching you, but I don't want to do that with everybody, you know?
Right.
That's the
choice part.
Okay.
Right.
But I kind of do want to be with everybody if they were I guess being what their source actually is, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And then the nature of connection, of course, is very different. The nature of connection I have with that branch in that tree, which is prickly, is a very different connection I have with you, right?
Yeah.
So sitting, like this and leaning against that branch over there, it's going to be prickly and quite painful to my skin. So if you take it from that perspective, like the nature of the connection, we choose that nature of that connection. So at a physical level, even grabbing that tree is going to hurt my hand because the needles of that tree are very prickly, right? So they're going to hurt my hand.
That's at physical level, but of the seeing and the sensing and the connection
of being one
and accepting it and sending back and forth the sense of our experience of real, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way, honey.
No. Oh, it's not a laptop. Yeah. I mean, it's not a touch thing. I was trying to go.
Right. So the level of engagement with the thing, it's not prickly at visual level. It's not prickly at emotional level.
Exactly. Or experiential telepathy level.
It's not a prickly thing.
Yeah, but other things can be prickly at an experiential telepathy level or emotional levels. They can. So this is where we navigate the connection and we choose it. But that doesn't take away from the fact that we are and everything is connected. Okay? And that we can consciously decide the level and nature of those connections instead of being told everything's disconnected and you don't have a choice. Do you see?
Even at a physical level, I understand there's stuff making up the matter, the stuff between the me and the that, and all the stuff between here and the there are touching each other just like we're touching.
Yeah, exactly.
All this touches to that, touches to that, touches to that, through to that, to the everywhere that. Yes. We're all that.
Yeah.
We're all made of that.
Yeah.
And the only thing separating us are the words I can understand to use is the vibrational rate of the stuff in between each other. Mm-hmm. And if it vibrates at the sympathetic rate, then it connects and it goes in. And if it's a little bit different, then it has a barrier between assimilation.
Yes.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
But it's still same stuff.
Same stuff.
But it talks differently.
Yes. Yeah.
And the separation is what makes this experience possible.
Yes.
So to understand there's another reality which doesn't have that separation,
Mm-hmm.
that the reality that we come from doesn't have
the reality we actually exist in.
The reality we actually exist in doesn't have that separation. We all are fluidly capable of going and being and through and everywhere of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the malleability, instantaneous malleability of it.
Yeah.
It's us.
Mm-hmm.
We are it.
Yeah.
Those concepts are kind of like an exponential expansion of I'm thinking about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And now to be present and connected to me now is 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So where does that bring you? It brings you to a different place of how you interact with the separateness.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the point, right?
That's the point. Yes.
Got it.
The moment that you begin to understand that there isn't a ball of fire in the sky that is actually a perception of something else we're looking at. And all of the planets that you can perceive are not balls in space, which is empty, right? Between here and there. When you start to understand that, and that Earth is creation, not an agent of creation. It is creation. And so are you. Then you can start responding to the physical universe and all your interactions within it from that perspective.
Connecting in a different way.
And then you become more capable.
And open.
Oh no, Rom, did you come too close?
He's afraid the cat's going to scratch him.
Yeah.
Even though it's through the glass.
I thought he was gargling at Peebee.
No.
The cat.
Cat. And Peebee.
You better go and deal with the cat. All of the connections.
All the connections. Well, I was thinking about the book we were reading and how looking at the planets and the stars in the sky, how we see them as little pinpricks of light, or if we use a telescope, pinpricks of light with some definition. And how they, the ones that were authoring the book, saw those lights as
possibilities of
complete Earths in the verb form.
Yes,
they were all Earths in the verb form.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were big, not tiny little dots either.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah. It's a concept of reality perception. And there's many mystics of many flavors on the planet working very hard to control the perception of the masses. Because when you control the perception of the masses, you control the masses. And what we're doing here is to make sure that you're not, or you already are not, actually, because you're here. You're already not part of the masses that can be hypnotized and whose perception can be controlled. And the nuggets of wisdom that we're sharing with you are basically ways in which you can strengthen your control of perception, right. And
keep a hold of it. Right.
Yeah, and control the narrative that you are experiencing in life. Meow.
What a pretty kitty.
Oh, meow. I can let him in through that door.
It's all right. I'll let him go. We're almost done.
Okay.
We're almost done
for the first
talking
hour.
to each other.
First half hour.
About
first part.
half hour first part.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. Us. You're probably not going to. You're just going to be sitting here or listening here or watching here. Yeah. And like that will be expanding how we look at the conversation we just looked at.
Yes.
Remember, when you first get exposed to data or information, sometimes, like we were doing earlier, there's like 4 times through that one sentence to understand what it even means Earth is a verb.
Yes.
Right. So glossed over it for half an hour. We've hit a lot of interesting things and topics, and it's interesting to talk about. In the next hour or so, we will be expanding on it in ways that we haven't thought ourselves.
Exactly.
So there'll be the concepts, the thoughts, and the earth as a verb. You'll be able to understand it through the empathy of another's questions about it and expansion of, hey, but I don't get it, but I don't understand. But how does this apply? How does this apply? So in the second half, we're going to have another hour's worth of digging into it. Right. And if you don't have that second half, you can
go to Subscribestar and get it.
Go to Subscribestar.
Oh, what about the Rockfin as well?
Or you can go on Rockfin and the video will be there if you're a member at Rockfin. I think they're $14 or something like that at Rockfin. And then you get the content that everybody puts out. That's their paid content. And if you go to Subscribestar, I think it's $8 instead.
I can't remember what it is.
But it's all our stuff and not everybody else's stuff too.
Yeah.
So either one, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
And that...
and Walk With Me Now too.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Walk With Me Now, all that's included. A lot more, yeah. Plus, last week, not even last week, just a couple days ago, we just did our monthly class at Subscribestar, and that was on reincarnation.
It was, yes.
And
escaping the cycle of life and death.
There were things that came in on that class that I didn't know, and I was in the class.
You were giving the class.
And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. So if you're interested in that kind of topic, kind of classes and things at Subscribestar, I think we have 6 or 8 or maybe 9 or 10 classes.
I don't remember.
We have plenty of classes. And the classes are us talking like this, very specific about a specific topic. Like the last one was reincarnation.
Yeah.
And
the question and answer part.
I remember the last decade or so of learning about an expanded sense of what real is, from the one that I was fed and given to the one that I began to realize actually was more true, more true for me. There were a lot of paths and a lot of strange teachings and strange individuals teaching strange things that I grabbed onto, right?
Yes.
And I explored. And I found they were really good. And then I don't know what, probably I took another one of your classes, honey. And it expanded me a little bit more. And then I could see, oh, wait a minute, this is just a partial explanation. I'm still only getting part of the story. What's the rest of the story? So our reincarnation class is the rest of the story. All the story, all the parts, all the bits that are relevant to you navigating a split or a life in this reality, in this verb of earth. Yeah. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, you know where to go.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Love you, honey.
Love you too.